Hey there kiddos, time for lesson 3.3, multiplication with fraction answers. Be sure to put that at the top of your notebook page like we've been talking about. And then remember, write down I can multiply a whole number by a fraction to make a new fraction as your I can statement this time. Okay, and off we go. So we're going to talk about a model for multiplying fractions by whole numbers. I briefly discussed this in class today, but I want you to just take a good look at it again. Okay. N over D times W, where N stands for our numerator, D stands for our denominator, and W stands for the whole number. So when we multiply fractions, that's what we're doing. Taking that whole number times a fraction. And when we do that in this case, we've got 2 times 3/7 equals 6/7. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at our answer here of 6/7. When multiplying a whole number times a fraction, what part of this fraction changed? What's different in this fraction from the original fraction? Well, hopefully you said the numerator, okay? Right up there. That 6 is different than the 3 that we started with. What part does not change? What part stays the same? Hopefully you looked at that and said that's the denominator. The denominator did not change. It's still a 7 here. It was a 7 there. So when we talk about numerator over denominator times the whole number, we really could look at that as a new way, because since the only thing that changes in any fraction when we're multiplying by a whole number is the numerator, we can write that as numerator times the whole number over the denominator, because the denominator is going to stay the same. So if we look back at our original equation, we have 2 times 3 over 7, which equals 6/7, just like we have there. Again, denominator is the same. Numerator is the one that changes. So we're going to take a look at what happens when you get answers greater than 1 whole. Sometimes you're going to write these as improper fractions. Sometimes you're going to write them as whole numbers. Okay. So in multiplying fractions, answers can be an improper fraction when you get that answer. Okay. So don't look at that and think, oh my goodness, I must have done something wrong. That doesn't mean that at all. Okay. So I want to show you something similar you're going to see in your work that you're going to be doing for seat work tomorrow. And it says show 3/4 of 3 on the number line. Okay, so what they're asking you is they've shown you a number line. 1, 2, 3 wholes are listed on this number line if we move across here. And they're asking you to show 3/4 of each whole as you go across. So I can do that by circling 3/4 in the first section, second section, and the third section. Okay, so if I want to write 3/4 of 3 as a fraction, I'm going to end up multiplying to figure that out. 3 times 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to set it up just like we talked about before. Whole number times the numerator over the denominator. 3 times 3 over 4 equals 9/4. Okay, now let's say they wanted me to write 3/4 of 3 as a mixed number. Well, I can take my answer 9/4 and I can say how many 4s can I get out of 9? Well, I can get 2 4s out of 9. What would I have left over then? Well, I'd have 1. Okay, so 9/4 would equal 2 and 1/4. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that's the whole video. I don't plan on going in any more depth, but you are more than welcome to practice some additional fractions if you'd like. Okay, so for problems 1 and 2, I need you to solve and write your answers as fractions. Even if they're improper fractions, I want them left alone. Okay, for 3, I want you to solve and write your answer as a mixed number. All right, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.